Hello. So today is going to be a ramble on pretty much self-worth, self-empowerment, seeing your worth, and actually it's going to be a really big one on self-respect, because just starting this week, because I'm slowly getting myself into 2019. I haven't yet got myself into the new year, and that's because I'm trying to get everything sorted for Team Ruby, because Team Ruby is my everything. As much as I'm going to be rambling about self-respect, self-care and all that, Team Ruby fulfills me. You know how we all have those feelings that we want to feel, and don't be ashamed of them, because I used to be ashamed of saying how I wanted to feel. And the goals that I had up until this year, I actually openly shared them with the group, and I'm still slowly coming to share the way that I want to feel, because a lot of the time our upbringing makes us kind of shy away from how we want to feel. So what we tend to do is say how we don't want to feel. Over all the phone calls I've been having with the girls lately after doing my goal setting video is, how do you want to feel? A lot of them don't even know how to put it into words, or I feel like they don't feel like they can say how they really want to feel, or they don't know how to word it, kind of thing, because they were saying everything that they don't want to feel, everything that they don't want to be. I'm like, yeah, but you're just mentioning pain and things you want to move away from. Doing that, you're focusing and putting all your emotions into the negatives, and you're kind of the more that you focus on something, the more that it manifests itself. So if you're constantly thinking of what you don't want to be, it's still in your mind, and it's going to hold you back in ways you don't even realize. So you need to focus on how you want to feel. And one of the words that I have that I want to feel is, I love feeling validated. I love knowing that all the effort, all the work that I've put into my education, that I've put into my personal development, that I've put into myself, that it's that it's helping people. And I guess that validates me in the way that knowing that other people can take value from it and use it to grow themselves. Because one of my greatest satisfactions and feelings of fulfillment is actually witnessing my girls do things that they never thought that they could do, having newfound confidence, doing things. I realize the tiniest things with my girls, all of a sudden they're taking videos everywhere of their training, when I remember they first started out, and taking videos of their training was something that they would never have even imagined doing, because they felt so intimidated by it, or they felt like they'd be judged for putting their phone down and taking videos. And then there are others that used to shy out from the group. They didn't want to make themselves known, and now they're just openly posting in there. And just all these little things there, and taking progress photos. So many of them, they were they didn't like the feeling of seeing kind of their bodies, and their they didn't feel confident in putting their canvas up for show, because they usually when you want to change anything about yourself, it's because you're coming from a place of, okay, now I'm admitting it. So now they're admitting it on a wider scale. And now when they send progress photos, a lot of the time they might give a snark remark, but there's no hesitation sort of thing. And you can even tell by the clothes they wear, from freaking jackets and pants to bloody booty shorts and crop tops, and not giving a damn if they have a shirt on top of their crop tops, and yeah, anything like that. So I guess I'm gonna cut to the chase here and not ramble, because I really want to get to the important part of this, and that's self-respect. A lot of the time in the feedback with my girls, because the feedback I do is very it's very elaborate, because the more that they give me, the more I can help them. However, I do have the busy parents and the busy workers that can't give me so much feedback. So I'm organizing fortnightly calls with them. So they only put in the feedback that they can put into the Excel sheet that I give them. And then the rest of it is pretty much going to be covered in the phone call. Like, I'll look over it and I won't reply to it because I'll be saving it for the phone call sort of thing, because I'll be keeping it pretty, like, the goal is for them to just keep me in tune with what they're doing week to week, but the phone call to actually sum everything up and nut anything out that we need to nut out. So I did find out that a lot of them, whenever they fell out of routine or like had allowed someone else to have control over them more so than themselves, is when they started to lose focus and lose confidence in themselves and fall backwards and self-sabotage. I'll give you an example of one person. She was always a morning routine person, morning routine for training, morning routine in just getting her head set right. And then school holidays, and then a man came on the scene, started influencing her, wanting to spend more time with her. She started putting her sleep and herself last, which made it harder for her to be the mum that she wanted to be, which then caused more stress, and that all of this impacted the way that she ate, impacted the way she trained, and it just made her feel like utter shit, and it was just a cycle. And then we brought back the kids back to school. We had a phone call. She took 3 days off work, and we were able to work through getting her back onto track, and she's got her morning routine back, and now she's feeling on top of the world again. And I'm like, this emphasizes exactly what I realized today, which is that self-respect will never be, like, respect will never be given to you until you learn to respect yourself. Because if, like, you can't, but the thing is, what is there to respect? You need to make sure you actually know who you are and what it is that you are respecting before others can respect you in the same way, or see you in the same way, or see the worth in the person that you are. So for example, for me, my values, my focus, my everything is on empowering others to put themselves first, to live their best life, to actually set appointments with themselves when they train, and to make it them time, and to be selfish with themselves so that they can give to their family, they can give to other people. And that can't be done if you're constantly burning yourself at both ends and being everything for everyone but not yourself. Because, like, even if you do put yourself first, you need to realize that you will still have bad periods. Like, you will have a few days where you're on a consistent high, and then all of a sudden you feel a need to retreat, and that is completely normal. You can't be 100% all the freaking time. And that's exactly what I say with your training. Like, you can't keep adding 5 kilos, 2 kilos, 10 kilos to the bar every single freaking time you go to lift. Because otherwise we'd all be friggin' bench pressing trucks and deadlifting cars and whatever the frackery. So you need to realize that there are periods where you need to be kind to yourself and realize that it is time to rest and to recuperate. But whether you're going full balls to the wall or whether you're giving yourself time to rest, you need to realize you need to value yourself and have self-worth. So this week, I decided to make training time completely about me. If I open my messenger, the only person I'd be messaging is my coach, if I have a question to ask. Otherwise, I would not be using my messenger, because actually I don't even do that anymore, because I have my program template. So if I have a question to ask my coach, I will put it onto my program template and leave it there for him for the end, because I don't want to open my messenger and communication. Like, I want to be able to use my messenger and communicate when I'm in a better, like, when I'm able to give my 500%, which is when I have a keyboard and I can actually type out my responses properly. Because in between that, I'm not giving my full, like, I will send voice messages all the time. That's something that I do. And if I do use my phone to reply outside of laptop hours, then I do that as well. But when I am training, that is me respecting myself, putting myself first, because my body is not just a canvas for myself, but it's for my business as well. Like, I need to walk the talk. I need to put myself first, and I need to be, like, That's another feeling. I want to feel like I'm an inspiration. I want to feel like I am a positive role model for other women. And I can't be if I'm not walking the talk. I'm not putting my body first. I'm not putting my mind first. And if I just look like shit kind of thing. Like, if someone hasn't got their walking the talk badge on, how are you meant to know that they're living a congruent life? Like, I'm all about congruency, and that's why my training is a definite non-negotiable, but I was letting other factors creep into it. It was still a non-negotiable, but the focus I gave it just wasn't there. And now that I'm doing that, I'm feeling so much better, and like, it gave me this realization that's just given me even more power, and that's, you need to respect your boundaries, you need to respect your values, and you need to respect what fills your cup and makes you whole. Like, for example, if one of your friends asks you to go out on a Friday night and they're drinking, and you have the value of not drinking, and then you say yes because you feel inclined to, how are you going to feel about that? You're probably going to wake up hungover. You're probably going to make bad food choices if you drink too much. You're putting excess calories into your body, which you probably didn't account for, and in doing that, you're also you are stopping muscle protein synthesis, you are stopping fat oxidation, which is fat burning, and you are stopping carb oxidation, which is carb burning. So doing that once is okay if you're okay with your decisions and you're not going to feel shit about it and go into a hole, and it's actually something that means a lot to you. But if you're doing it out of obligation, or just because it's there and there's nothing else to do, and you're not valuing yourself or respecting yourself or seeing your self-worth or seeing that you have goals and all this other stuff, then it's not going to be a wise decision. So I guess the moral of this whole story is respect yourself. Like, I'm trying to like talk through this really slowly and give you examples. So, because a lot of the time when if I listen to any podcast or anything, I'm a visual learner. So if I listen to podcasts and they're going and they sound like they scripted something, or they sound like they're just rushing through a whole heap of content they want to get out and not stumbling on their own words and making things really easy to understand, then I just switch off, which is why I've been finding it too hard to listen to anything lately. So I've just been doing like visual stuff and trying to see where I can enhance my learning through visuals. And now I'm like, one of my courses have started, so that's all gonna like be put on hold or in the background, because my course is gonna take the Team Ruby to high places once I finish it as well. So yeah, I really hope that it does help you guys as well, the way that I'm kind of trying to make examples that resonate with you. But yeah, I guess the main thing I want to say, which I just said back then, is know who the person is that you want to become. Know what they do every day. Know what they value. Know how you want to feel every morning when you wake up. Know how you want to feel when you go to bed at night. Satisfied, strong, empowered, all these feelings, confident, in control. Know how you want to feel at the end of summer, going into winter. Know how you want to feel throughout winter. Know how you want to feel next summer, at the end of the year. Know how you want to feel on your birthday. Know how you want to feel when Christmas comes again. Know how you want to feel, and then act accordingly. Because your thoughts, so how you want to feel, your emotions, are all influenced by your results, by your thoughts, by your decisions. Your thoughts, whether positive or negative, lead to decisions. Now, if your decisions are based off your thoughts and all you can do is be a negative Nancy, then anything that you decide to do is not going to be in your favor, and it's going to probably be something to do with self-sabotage or a decision that takes you away from what you would want your decision to be. But if you're always being positive and your perception on everything is coming from a good place, which is why I made a post not that long ago about smiling at people, because actually today I made a random compliment to someone who always used to just like stare at me like, no. I'm like, I just wanted to say something to you. You are absolutely insanely fit, and I envy your fitness. And she just looks at me and goes, you are a weapon. I've seen the weights you lift. I'm like, yeah, but there's no way that I can do what you do. Because this chick does the most insane freaking conditioning work and hints and sprints and sleds and all this crazy shit. I'm just like, whoa. So I paid her a compliment because I admire her work. And she smiled at me, complimented me back, and that put me in a good mood. And I'm sure that she's gonna feel like, if she even remembers or gives a damn about that compliment. If she doesn't, then I don't really care, because I feel great because I complimented someone. And that's going to put me in a positive mood with positive thoughts. And the fact that I had this realization is putting me in a positive mood, positive thoughts. And it's just going to feed through to the decisions that I make, and then the actions that I carry out, which then will lead to the results that I will have at the end of the day, which will determine how I feel by the end of the day, which will then determine my thoughts before going into bed, and then my thoughts on waking up for the following day. So, yeah, I hope that helps. Love you all. Mwah.